Hi everyone, my name is Rahul Karandikar. I'm not here to tell you how to find clarity. I'm here to tell you why waiting for clarity cost me everything in my life. Throughout my childhood, I've shifted a lot of cities because my father used to work for a bank. Every time, new place, new playground, new school, but the same thing happened again and again that I used to feel very lonely coming back home because I had nobody to talk to. So I would get up, go to the nearest playground, see who's playing there, and wait for them to ask me to get included. Sometimes people would let me play, sometimes they didn't. But I never gave up. I would go to the next ground, next society, till I found a group. At home, I used to feel sad, I used to feel lonely. But as soon as I moved out, confidence would come up. During all this, there was a belief that was getting formed inside my head. And the belief was, I'm not good enough. Not because I wasn't getting accepted, but because I was doing the same thing again and again and again. The belief that stuck to me was there for a long time. Years later, fresh out of the MBA, I thought I'm ready to rule the world. I got campus recruited for ICICI Bank and they placed me in a place called Gulbarga. At first, I hesitated a lot because I didn't know the place, I didn't know the people, I didn't know the language. But I said yes. After reaching there, I realized the language was going to be a big problem, especially in sales. I thought of perfecting the language, but it was going to be very difficult. So I did something strange. With the help of a colleague of mine, I created a small dialect of my own. It had a lot of broken words, wrong grammar, lot of hand gestures. It wasn't very impressive, but people didn't notice that. People noticed my effort. People smiled with me, helped me in correcting the language, and I did a lot of sale. In fact, I became one of the most successful salesperson in the area. Let me tell you something right now, not at the end, that if you look at all the job titles that I've done, they don't make sense. There's no continuity in that. After this job, I worked in a fashion designing institute without a fashion designing background. I worked in a hotel management institute without knowing how to hold a spoon and a fork. The interviewer asked me, how are you going to manage? I said, my job is to manage people who are going to teach, not teach myself. As long as that is okay, I can continue. Then I ran a cafe of my own and did multiple things. That's not the point here. The point is, every time I jumped in and figured the things out later. Never ever I waited for things to be perfect. There was this pattern which kept showing that I was ready to adapt and I was ready to learn. At the age of 35, I decided I wanted to get into photography. Now that old thought came back again that I was not good enough. I will never be able to compete with the people of my age, who are very younger. I stopped asking the question how to become a great photographer. In fact, I was asking a question, how can I be useful to an established photographer? So I created a mind map. I took a pen and paper, wrote down an established photographer at the center, and wrote down everything that he would need, right from client management to digital marketing, business development to team management, everything. Took this paper to him and I asked him, sir, I might not be the best photographer, but I know exactly what you need. He looked at that paper and he got impressed. That mind map got me a job that actually didn't exist. I had a real estate firm as the CEO. Again, the same thing. It was a new industry. It was a new culture. The people were different, but I jumped in. I communicated, I spoke to people, I learned, and I excelled. If you look at all these job profiles that I've done, I've never felt ready. I always took a step and figured it out on the way. Spreading ideas, according to me, is not about telling people what to do. It is about telling people that starting is possible. It is about sharing your experiences intended to impress anybody or not to sell anything. It is about letting people know that if you start, at some point, you'll figure it out. If you're stuck in your profession, in your job, and you're thinking, how do I start? Let me tell you one thing, that your background, your age, your knowledge, your industry, none of these matter. What matters is waiting. And that waiting is going to kill you. You have to take action, because clarity doesn't come before action. Clarity comes from action. That young boy searching for playgrounds didn't know where the life will take him. But he knew one thing: if he stepped outside, something will happen. And that is true till today. Because ideas don't wait for perfect people, they need people who are ready to move. Thank you.